Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is the Three Amigos, and I have just been schooled and educated on something that I have not been doing. So thank you for Dion, and thank you in advance for helping me in the future. But we will talk about that on another show because I'm still a little bit irritated. It is the Three Amigos. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. Wicked, just good.
Yeah, just wicked, just good. Glad to see that Zuber's irritated. Dion, thank you for this. How you doing, buddy?
It's going to be hard to record a video after you drop an F-bomb just before you hit record.
A really loud and passionate one. Yeah. I don't like making errors, but apparently I've made a big error, and Dion will help me in the future. We'll share the error later once I fixed it. But guys, I want to talk about Graham Stephan and Dave Ramsey. Obviously, Graham Stephan is someone I followed very early on when I launched my channel. I liked early Graham stuff where he talked about being a real estate agent, making money, getting leases, really showing the struggle of being an entrepreneur and a real estate agent. He's obviously morphed into somebody who's got 3.7 million subscribers. He makes more money with sponsorships now than most people make a year. He makes in a week. So he's really morphed. But he was just on the Dave Ramsey show, which I thought was pretty cool, right? I don't think he's 30 yet. He may be just turned 30, but I like Graham Stephan. And I think Graham Stephan on a Dave Ramsey show kind of makes sense. Dion, what do you think?
No, I think it's great. They were really good about saying, here's somebody who's really successful, making a lot of money. And ironically, most of Graham Stephan's money doesn't come from ads on YouTube. It comes from affiliate marketing, which we'll talk about someday, and his sponsorships. And the only thing they pointed out is his divergent opinion of debt. So Graham Stephan's made a couple of videos now talking about, you're right, I do have about $4 million worth of debt. And then he explains why. And if you can have the income he does, $4 million worth of debt is a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen Graham Stephan talk about his income in a while, but I've got to imagine he makes $4 million a year, at least.
Yeah, probably more.
Yeah, probably more.
I think it's more. Yeah.
Yeah. So
because Meet Kevin was doing $1 million a month,
yeah,
and he's got half the subs.
Yeah.
And Graham's got much higher engagement.
Yeah. So let me just say this. If you make $1 million, let's just say you make $1 million and your total debt is less than that, you suck. Now, let's be clear. I'm not talking consumer debt or student loans or car loans or credit card debt. I'm talking real estate debt. I saw a video yesterday where Graham called it losing 4 million. And I'm like, Graham Stephan lost $4 million. I'm clicking on that video. Turns out it wasn't $4 million. Why? How can people call it a $4 million loss when he has 4 million in debt? I don't understand. It's just misleading, but whatever.
It's clickbait.
I guess. I mean,
it was good clickbait. It got you. And the really cool thing
got me.
The really cool thing when we compare Graham Stephan to Meet Kevin is, let's say their incomes were exactly the same. Graham Stephan makes 13% more because he was smart and moved out of the state.
Yeah, he went to Vegas.
Vegas. He's in Vegas Row with a bunch of YouTubers.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, his house is basically the tax savings from
Yep.
leaving California. But so what I would say, like, let's just say you made Graham, you need to step on the gas. And it's interesting because I think Graham did a video like a year or two ago where he was selling his real estate because of the liability, right? He was making so much money on these other things that real estate was now a problem for him, which I thought was interesting. But yeah, if you make $1 million or $10 million and you only have $4 million in debt, again, 30-year fixed rate debt. I mean, come on, I don't make anywhere close to that. And I've got 10 or 12 million. So I guess my video should be called, I lost $12 million.
We should all three make that video.
I'm not going to do that because I didn't lose it. I mean,
Yeah. I think the one challenge that Graham's going to have is eventually he's going to jump the shark. And people aren't going to be into Graham Stephan anymore. They're not going to be. I mean, well, I'm just saying it happens to everybody.
It does.
It's not an attack on Graham. It's very few guys do nothing but grow their channel, right? And it's one misstep and you're down here, you know. So I think that's the biggest challenge coming, is that you're not really. I can't really identify with you making $1.5 million a month,
Well, that's the thing
YouTube.
with Meet Kevin that bugs me is
Yeah.
he keeps flexing about his trading account, which again, I don't begrudge him. But
No.
my
Heard it.
guess is he's talking to people that have $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 trading accounts.
Right.
And he's flexing about his $1 million this and $1 million that. Maybe people want to watch just for the entertainment, which is cool. But if you really have a heart for people, I think there's just so much missing there.
It just
Here's
shows
the
you
biggest
I'm
threat.
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Here's the biggest threat. Why $4 million in debt is not enough for somebody who's been making more than $1 million a month.
Yeah.
YouTube can go away. It's not that Graham can mess up or jump the shark. That's totally possible. What if this platform disappears?
Yeah.
Right. So there goes the biggest revenue source, and it can happen. Or his account. He was almost kicked off of YouTube. He did this video, don't know if it was clickbait or not, about a year ago, where, you know, how we get those spammers in the comments that say, click on my WhatsApp. I'm Michael Zuber, and you can buy crypto from me. Yeah. Well, he was getting that. So he started getting letters from Google saying, we're canceling your account because you're spamming people. And it was people faking his name.
Yeah, I remember that.
So this is something that we can all lose.
Yeah. Definitely have multiple streams of income. And yeah, it's, but back to Graham, Stephan, and Dave Ramsey. I actually think that's a pretty good marriage. When I think of Graham, Stephan, right? Live below your means, save, work hard. I mean, like early Graham.
Yeah.
I think he is very Dave Ramsey-like, and he could have gone that way. He's obviously believes in debt, 30-year debt that produces income, all of that. But I think a Dave Ramsey, Graham, Stephan, I think that makes sense to me. What do you think?
Graham is Dave Ramsey's like love child. Like it's that's exactly what Graham is. I mean, you know, driving 90 minutes to get a cup of coffee that's $1 less.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, that is Dave Ramsey. That is Graham. And that's great. You know, I mean, silly Dion and I just decided to do it with our biggest expense instead of our smallest expense.
Yeah. The house,
you know, with our houses, with the cheat code to wealth and house hacking, instead of, you know, wondering, you know, why $5. I don't even drink Starbucks. Like, and I don't understand the concept of $5 coffee. So forgive me, but it's just one of those things. And so I think that, I think Graham Stephan is absolutely Dave Ramsey, because there is nothing that Graham's doing that leverages capital, even his coffee company. No. It's not even close, because he gets a ton of the free advertising based on who he is.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Dion?
So the thing I like about Graham is the reason I started watching his content, you know, 2-3 years ago, was he had 7 properties. Yeah. He was house hacking. He was purchasing. He was an agent who made a couple of big deals. He didn't do it for his first deal for 6 months. Yeah. And then he realized his income was really inconsistent. So his goal was to get a couple of rentals to have some consistent income so he can be an agent. Mm-hmm. And then I think I have a bit of trivia that you guys might not know.
Okay.
What is the name of Graham's cat?
No idea.
Ramsey. So that tells you how much of a Ramsey fan Graham is.
There you go.
So Matt nailed it. And other than using debt, leverage on real estate, he absolutely does follow the line of Ramsey's logic, other than
and again, I would think Dave Ramsey himself would look at Graham and say, given your income, because again, he did a CNBC Millennial Millionaire, it must be a year, maybe 18 months ago, where he saved like 96% of his income. If that's not Dave Ramsey on steroids, I don't know what is. You know, I mean, just like seriously.
I mean, I think, okay.
No,
I was just gonna say, I think the cool thing about, so I think what's interesting about Graham is that he continues to do that, right? Live on a fraction of a fraction.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty easy to live on a fraction of $35 million or $13 million or 20. It's easy to live on that fraction.
Good. Right? But he's still doing it. He's still doing it.
But he's still doing it, still staying disciplined in that way. The question is, what do you do with that accumulated wealth and tax and all this other stuff, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see, because the number of people that are going to be in his position that can grow a massive YouTube following and turn that into millions upon millions of dollars, the number of people that can do that is about this big. Yeah. And then, but the number of people that can do what we've done, which is house hack, life hack, do a lot of those things, that number is much, much, much bigger. So I would say because what we do this for, right? I don't get paid to do this. So what I do this for is to help people. So what's going to help people the most? It's understanding a practice like house hacking, cheat code to wealth, 4-3-2-1 strategy. It's a concept like that that really changes people's lives in their day to day, and not one of those things, especially with what the coming market's going to be. I'm pretty sure that $5 Starbucks is not going to be life changing for you.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. Again, kudos. I personally respect Graham, not only early Graham, but even today. I bet you he's still saving 70% plus of his income, which is,
I bet it's a lot higher than that. Again, I just think it's a narrower group of people that are going to be able to grow from that and do the same and replicate. We all talk about what we do because it's been successful for us. And if people jump on board, then they're like, hey, I can replicate that.
Yeah. I think everything that the three of us have done is repeatable.
Yes.
Growing a YouTube channel of 3 million folks. Not likely. Dion, how can people find you?
On my tiny little YouTube channel right here, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
Awesome. And Matt?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube.com. I know that one of my children is screaming in the background. I'm sure they're fine because I heard my wife talk after that. So
very cool. Thanks, guys.
Ciao.